Luxury ladies and bountiful bread boys, put aside thoughts of how your goods were gotten. Take a moment to enjoy watching your dough rise, and so I told her, I'm not breaking up with you. I just want to diversify my dating assets.
Oh, that reminds me. It's time to talk Tull to me.
Oh, yes. Welcome back to the podcast. I am Omen Thomas Sade.
And I am Nick McGill.
Together we are Feculous Momes.
And this, my little regrets, is Talk Tull to me.
An equity evaluation on the estate of Prog Rock, in which Net Value Nick and Opulence Omen will set up testamentary trusts for each and every tax-deferred track that rollover rock band Jethro Tull have ever held in their impressive portfolio. We will calculate the dead president dividend of the Doane Perry prospectus, make sure our prenuptial agreement is in order before getting too close to Deep Pockets Dave Pegg, and be the beneficiaries of each golden note played by Martin Bullmarket Barr. And if we can avoid the vinyl volatility, sing the banknote blues, and cover our assets, we might just be able to make a durable deposit with the First Bank of Blackpool, the Cantabile of Coinage, the Wampum Wildman, the Shekel-stacking Scherzo, the Guardian of the Pot at the end of the Roth IRA Rainbow, Ian Aggressive Growth Fund Anderson. It's, the theme is wealth.
Oh, is that what that is?
No, that's what happened there, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's Gordon Gekko, Wall Street. Greed is good? Is that what the phrase is from that? Yeah, greed is good.
I don't know what that is.
It's an old movie with...
Oh, The Wolf of Wall Street.
No, not that one. This one's just Wall Street. It's with, is it Kirk Douglas? No, his son.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah.
This was a fun little trip.
Yeah.
Down a side street.
Dead end.
Turn around.
Reeks of piss.
Ooh, condemned buildings. Nick, welcome back. Here we are. We are still working our way through the album known as Nightcap, the Unreleased Masters.
Correct. Second half. Nearly done.
So close I can smell it. Actually, after this track, we only have 3 more. Lights Out, Trucks Up Runner, and Hardliner.
That's right. So yeah, 3 more. This was a long one. Long stint in the slammer.
A long stint. Speaking of our sentence that we're serving, it looks like Ian just announced a new set, a new release.
Well, it was announced a little while ago. The remaster of Breaking Out. Is that what you're talking about? Bursting Out?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it was announced a little while ago. He just got his hot little hands on the actual hard copy.
That's the one that I saw. And do we know yet if it will contain bonus materials, which we will be...
It doesn't sound like it. No, I don't think so. Yeah. Thank God.
Our sentence is... We're getting time off for good behavior. Not our good behavior, but someone else's behavior.
Someone else's. Yeah, that's great. Speaking of time, this track was recorded some time ago, 34 years ago, in fact. It was recorded in 1990.
Yes.
At Ian Anderson's home studio. As you mentioned in the warm-up there, we have Martin Barr on electric guitar, Dave Pegg on bass guitar, Doane Perry on drums and percussion, and then good old Ian.
Yeah, welcome back, Doane Perry. Haven't heard him for a little bit, so that'll be nice.
Yeah, we'll be diving into him once we leave Nightcap too, won't we?
Diving into him, yes.
Into Doane.
Back into him.
Back. Oof, can't wait to go back into Doane.
Once you go Doane, you never go home.
That's good.
Thanks.
Once you go Doane, you're never alone.
Once you go Perry, it won't matter that you're married.
You won't mind the Harry.
Once you go bass, oh, he's not the bass player.
Once you go drums.
Oh! Today's track, Nick, is I Don't Want to Be Me, a 1990 recording at Ian's home studio, recorded at Ian's home studio. And why don't we have a listen to it?
Let's do that. I don't want to, but let's do it.
I don't want to be me listening to it, but I am. Nick, that was the song I Don't Want to Be Me.
Correct. It was your first time hearing it, I'm assuming.
You assume correctly.
So this was 90.
This was 1990, yeah.
90. Before this was 89 with Rock Island. Following this was 91 with Catfish.
That's a great context. For me, this feels very much in the Rock Island style, at least thematically.
Yeah. I would, if you said what album does this come from, I think I would probably say Broadsword to begin with. Then Rock Island is probably going to be my next guess.
Stylistically, I would actually put it earlier. To me, it sounds almost like it could be off of the earlier stuff, Heavy Horses.
Yeah, Broadford Bazaar. Yeah, it's got a Broadford feel to it.
But the context of it, what it's about, feels very, very Rock Island.
Yeah.
This is 1990. This came out, or this was recorded just 10 years before a song with a similar theme about somebody experiencing fame and not necessarily feeling good about it.
Mm.
She's so lucky, she's a star, but she cries in her lonely heart, thinking, if there's nothing missing in my life, then why do these tears come at night?
Britney Spears, I'm assuming.
Britney Spears, very good. But it's an interesting theme. It's and I'm excited to talk about it more in the second half.
Okay, yeah. How do you feel about our little opener, our like 15 seconds of kind of like acousticy, strummy, little something funky going on in there?
I'm into it. So we've got, to my ear, a guitar and a mandolin.
Yes, I was going to ask. I definitely clocked the mando. I wasn't sure if I heard a guitar in there as well.
I think it's being backed by what to me sounds like Ian's little guitar, the little acoustic that he was playing around this time and into the 2000s.
The little acoustic that could, yeah.
The littlest acoustic guitar ever created by the hands of man. Any smaller than that, and you get into Elf territory.
Yeah.
Their waiting list is crazy. So he had it spec'd out just above.
Yeah.
Not really having a lot of Martin Barre coming through on this one, particularly.
Yeah, pretty subtle, unless it's him on Mando.
Which it well could be.
It's possible. It's possible. I mean, technically the wiki doesn't say it, but like, screw the wiki.
Screw the wiki. Wickety whack. So that intro reminded me of a Scottish folk band.
It reminded me of a definitively not Scottish folk band.
Okay. Which Scottish folk band did you think of it was reminding you of that was not Scottish?
I thought of the opener to Ohio from Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young. It's very similar.
Okay, I see it.
More electric there.
Yes.
But every time I hear this opener, it takes me to Ohio. Takes me to Ohio and leaves me there. I have to hitch back.
The one that it reminded me of is The Queen of Argylle by Silly Wizard, the Scottish band.
Silly Wizard.
So somewhere between Ohio and Silly Wizard, we have I Don't Want to Be Me, the release.
Oh, and can I take you aside for a second? Please.
Yeah,
Can we
take me aside.
Yeah. How have we been friends this long and you've never told me about Silly Wizard?
I assume. Well, you are such a silly wizard. I assumed that you knew them.
I had enough, Silly Wizard.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That opener was really cool.
You should check them out.
I plan to.
They're actually a band that my stepmother introduced me to.
Oh.
She was big into her Scottish heritage, and they're
Yeah.
great. They're kind of from the 70s, I want to say, and they were a more or less traditional Scottish folk band that played a lot of those old things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have guitar and mandolin. It is a very folky, a solidly folk rock intro.
Very, very, just like the lightest percussion back there. The lightest. I think it's hitting a cymbal that's being held, so it's just the slightest little.
Yeah, I wrote down a little bit of a hi-hat, but I think you're right.
Oh yeah, it could be a step of a hi-hat. Yeah, you're right.
But it's not super forward.
Yeah.
The folk sound is cemented. It is catalyzed at about 50 seconds in, maybe 45 seconds in, by the sound of that pipe or
Ooh.
penny whistle coming in. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, what a delightful sound.
I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be me.
Piercing. I feel like it's got a little filter on it or something. It feels dirty. It feels like there's like the slightest delay or reverb or something. Like it doesn't end when it ought to end. I could be very, very high on mushrooms. But I feel like they're filtered at.
I can just imagine Ian in the studio saying, "All right, boys, now I'm going to put some stank on that penny whistle." I like that you said it's piercing because the stringed instruments feel like the countryside, kind of these stretches, these acres wild, stretching out in all directions, and the pipe comes through, and it's like, here's the character, here's the feeling, the human feeling in that moment.
Yeah. It's very bright. It's very harsh. Not necessarily in a bad way, but I mean, just tonally compared to the rest of it. It's just beyond bright. It makes you squint when you listen to it. That's how bright that sound is.
If it were a lemon, you would take a bite of that sound and go,
Oh, it makes you pucker. Yeah.
yeah. Around 137, we transition into a little bit of a darker sound. And that's the first instance of the flute coming in, the actual proper concert flute coming in.
Pardon me, I'm on my way. Pardon me, but I'm going.
Oh yeah, I never clocked that. I was just like, penny whistle. All right, it's happening. I didn't think, but it's right there. Yeah, it's I see 129 is where I just heard that first.
Yeah. Am I crazy? No, really, am I crazy?
Period. Question mark.
I feel like that "Pardon Me, I'm on my way" is a cousin, maybe a second cousin once removed of Weathercock.
Do they still get to kiss?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's obligated.
They're Appalachian cousins.
Oh, count their toes. Pardon me, I'm on my way. Just tonally?
Sing it. Pardon me, I'm on my way. Pardon me, but I'm going. Taking on the simple life. Feel the grassroots growing. Maybe I'm conflating the two melodies a little bit.
No.
Pardon me, I'm on my way. Pardon me, but I'm going. Taking on the simple life, and I feel the grassroots growing.
I think I see that. Yeah.
What's Weathercock? How was your night, Weathercock?
Good morning, Weathercock. How'd
good
you fare
morning.
last night? Dun, 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 dun. You're shivering. Yeah.
I don't know. There's something similar. There's
I
similar.
get it.
Good morning, Weathercock. How'd you fare last night? Did the cold wind bite you? Did your face a tear bright?
Maybe they are inspired. Maybe Ian drank both of those tunes from the same well of Scottish musical propriety.
Right. And there's nothing to say that, probably not likely, but there's nothing to say that I Don't Want to Be Me had been cooking for years. And he finally,
Maybe didn't want to be him for a long time.
And it finally came to a head in 1990.
Yeah.
In 90, for the record, Tull had only been around for 21 years.
Oh, only.
It feels like they should have been at least 40 by 90,
Yeah, it is funny.
right? It feels weird to say that they were ever only 21 years.
Well, and the crazy thing, I mean, let's just have a little perspective here for a second. This song was recorded, you said they'd been playing for 20 years.
Yeah.
Britney Spears would not release her first album for another 9 years. She had her first release in 1999, I believe, after her stint on the Mickey Mouse Club. And her career is now effectively over in terms of being a recording artist. I mean, who's to say she won't have a resurgence? But, you know, one looks at the probabilities. Probably she's not going to be doing a lot of more recording. Jethro Tull is still releasing new material.
Yeah. Ian was 43 at the writing of this.
So Ian is currently 3 Britney Spears deep. 3 Britney's Spear deep.
Yes, that is a fully acknowledged measurement. And yeah.
It's not common. It's like the cubit or the furlong,
Yeah.
only for special occasions. Just on the musical side of things, I don't have a lot for this because it is fairly straightforward, kind of simple, does the job folk rock, which is lovely.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, yeah, it's nice.
I think my favorite rhyming is when he rhymes soup with look.
We can get into it in the second half, but the scansion is very generous in this one.
It's a bold rhyme. It's a bold flavored rhyme.
That's what it's called, yeah.
It's like Szechuan peppercorn. It's not for everybody.
It's an acquired taste, but once you get it there, you're like, okay, I can deal with this.
Yeah, yeah. Have I told you about, I feel like we're a little bit all over the place, or maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm all over the place today.
There isn't a solid through line to this song, I think, which doesn't terribly help.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, it's a podcast.
It's a podcast. Who the hell cares? You know, one of my favorite hip hop groups, the Digital Underground,
That I do.
Humpty Hump, otherwise known as Shock G. He has a line where he says something about, my rhymes are so something they'll make you stupid.
Oh, yeah.
I'll rhyme a word that don't mean nothing, like Loop did. I've told you about this?
Yes, you have, and it enrages me.
And then several other rappers have used the word loop did subsequently. And it's amazing for me because it's like Shakespeare. You just see a word, but it's in real time gets spawned into the language.
Right. Someone other than him using it legitimizes it, and now it is a word. But what's the definition? Doesn't it need a definition to actually be a word?
I don't think so.
I mean, that's the definition of a word.
Loop did, meaning. Urban Dictionary defines it as used to describe a night of partying that escalates from hanging out at a local bar to bringing half the bar back to your apartment and staying up all night.
Okay. If Urban Dictionary says it, I'll believe it.
Oh, I had to click into it. Staying up all night, doing blow with lesbians.
That's very specific.
As in the phrase, dude, last night was totally loop-did. Whoever invited those strippers and their girlfriends back, I owe them money because I did all their drugs. Sorry. Thank you, theurbandictionary.com.
I wonder how often that situation arises where you need the word looped it.
I think it's a word that by its own existence demands that you create those situations just so you can use it.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
I guess I know what you're going to do for your next social gathering out.
Yeah.
Get looped it.
I'm going to owe some people some money. Nick, welcome to the second portion of our show wherein we discuss, amongst other things, the meaning, the lyrics, the word, the scansiones, the writings, if you will, the verbs, the nouns, the consonants, the vowels.
I like a little tomatillo salsa on my scansiones. Not too spicy, just mild. It's nice. The acidity really makes it pop.
I love scansiones, but they give me gas, so I don't eat them anymore. This is a song that I would say has perhaps the most emo title of all the Jethro Tull discography. I Don't Want to Be Me.
I mean, the lyrics and the delivery are also fairly emo, I would say.
It's emo folk.
Yeah, emoke.
It's emoke. I mean, but really, that song title, if I saw that on if that was on Pinkerton, the Weezer album, I wouldn't bat an eye.
Oh my God, yes, absolutely.
If that was on Avril Lavigne's early stuff, I'd be like, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
of course. Preach it, Avril.
Of course, baby girl. You don't want to be you. It's fine. Got a grand house out in the country, marble pillars holding the door. Well, sounds fairly nice so far.
Got a grand house out in the country, marble pillars holding the door.
Empty bottles lining the wall from the night before. Uh-oh.
Empty bottles lining the wall from the night before.
That sounds like it could be fun.
Someone got looped in.
Someone got looped in. Got a roller out in the garage.
Got a roller out in the garage.
A roller, of course, is a Rolls Royce.
Rolls Royce, yep.
But the wheels are stuck to the floor. Oh dear. Got no reason to go anywhere. No friends call anymore.
But the wheels are stuck to the floor. Got no reason to go anywhere. No friends call anymore.
Wow. Really a roller coaster with this first verse.
A roller coaster.
A roller coaster. A roller coaster. Nick, what are the reasons why a car's tires would be stuck to the floor?
I'm ruling out hooligans, first of all.
Always a good thing to check, though.
Yes. Check under your bed, under your car for hooligans.
Spray for hooligans in the
Spray
spring.
for hooligans, yep. My guess is lack of use.
Yeah.
That the rubber has fused to the driveway or the garage floor.
In extreme cases, if you let a car sit for long enough, the air will go out of the tires and the actual rims, like the metal wheels themselves, will get flat from the weight
just
of the
the
car.
weight, just pushing it down. Wow.
Yeah, they'll flatten out the bottom part, so you really have to get new wheels for it.
Yeah.
My other thought was that maybe it is a metaphor, and that maybe the wheels are stuck to the floor because he's lost his driver's license, because he's been drink driving. It's a stretch.
Yeah, that's a stretch. I think it's
stretch.
more likely that the floor is so sticky from the empty bottles the night before that the Rolls Royce tires are. I think it's lack of use.
I think it's probably lack of use.
Yeah.
And the empty bottles lining the wall kind of sounds potentially like a fun night until you get to the line, no friends call anymore. So
Yeah.
who was drinking all those bottles?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I mean, we've all been to college. We all saw the dorm rooms where there was liquor bottles and beer bottles and cans lining the top of the room. But that was like a quad of bro dudes. This is just Ian Anderson sitting at home.
Or the singer, the character of the singer.
Our narrator, yes.
Or it could be that there was a party, but none of the people there were his friends.
That's true, yeah.
Which is also a pretty glum?
It is glim. It's glum and grim. You're right. It is glim. So we also have this double meaning of friends call to like call on the phone, or to call it just means to show up. Mm-hmm. So it could be they were invited and they didn't show up. They don't call him. So he has to call them and invite them, and they come over, drink his liquor, and then leave and don't call back.
Yeah, quite sad.
Yeah.
Quite a sad situation that we're setting up.
Yeah.
And the Rolls Royce and the marble pillars throw it all into contrast, because anyone can be miserable. But if you're rich and miserable, what is your excuse?
You've only yourself to blame.
You've only yourself to blame. Haven't you considered maybe buying happiness?
Try some cocaine. Instant happy.
So this is interesting, and this is a theme already that is repeated throughout history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's with great wealth comes this level of ostracization. Eventually you reach a point where you can't relate, and then you got to hang out with Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, and who wants to do that?
No, thank you. Could be a little bit Great Gatsby.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
He's trying to attract the attention of a girl on the other egg of sky.
Yeah.
Anyway, then we go into the chorus. I don't want to be me, I don't want to be me. I know it's hard to see, I don't want to be me.
I don't wanna be me. I don't wanna be me. I know it's hard to see. don't wanna be me.
Before we go any further,
Yeah.
from the night before, that's when we get our first scansion moments of from the night before.
Before.
I don't think we've ever heard that in Tull before,
Really?
where he's just like, this has to fit. Let's make it fit. We'll hammer it in there.
I think it works as part of that folky style where the rhythm of the quote unquote traditional rhythm gives you a structure that you are obligated to fill, even if it means stretching out a line. But you're right.
Yeah.
It's not something that we hear very often.
It's also, I think I just realized it also really fits with the lamentation of this character of he's become Eeyore. So everything's kind of bummed and drawn out, you know?
I like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
Second verse had me playing down at the palace. I was declared the belle of the ball, made the boys take my goods and chattel away. Now I'm staring at an empty hall.
Had me playing down at the palace. I was declared the belle of the ball. Made the boys take the goods and chattels away. Now I'm staring at an empty hall.
So down at the palace theater, I assume.
That's what I took it to mean, yeah. Isn't that where we saw them? Where did we see them?
We saw them at the Palladium.
Oh, Palladium.
The Palace Theater is in London, is currently where Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is playing at the moment.
So not Jethro Tull. Got it.
And not Jethro Tull at the moment, no.
But I would not be surprised if they played there probably several times.
Well, and also I think there's a palace in L.A. I think there might also be a palace. I mean, it's sort of a common name for a big theater venue.
Right.
So it could be anywhere. I was declared the belle of the ball.
That's just like you are the one who gets the attention. You're the most popular.
And putting it in those terms hints at the ephemeralness of it. Belle of the ball is the belle of that ball in that season of dances.
Yeah. That also, I think, adds to the idea of that remove from others is you are in the spotlight. Nobody else steps into the light of that physical spotlight. You're always arm's length away from people.
Step into the light.
Step into the light.
Trains. Made the boys take my goods and chattels away. Nick, what is a chattel?
Chattel is another term for cattle, so livestock, farm animals. But that being said, it is not uncommon to refer to women as chattel as well.
An item of tangible or intangible personal property.
Oh, intangible, interesting. When I was studying to be a teacher, we had this amazing professor, Donna Mahar.
You've mentioned Donna Mahar before.
I believe I have, yeah. I believe I've probably told this story, but one of the students asked why she hadn't taken her husband's last name, and she stands bolt upright, looks this person dead in the eyes and says, Donna Mahar is no man's chattel.
I love that so much.
Raven and I quote that to this day because it was so powerful. It was so powerful.
It's so good.
So yeah, that's what I get. That's immediately where my mind went is they took away the goods. So all of the music gear, all of the instrumentation and stuff, and the groupies and women waiting to hang out with Ian. So it's all of the fans are gone. All of the groupies are gone. All of the gear is gone. He's legit just sitting in this empty auditorium. Weeping into his tea.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, an empty hall as in the music hall.
Yeah, right.
I had imagined it like the hall in England, in the UK, hall could refer to a big place of residence.
Oh, sure, right. Like a dining hall or, yeah.
In The Wind in the Willows, they refer to Toad of Toad Hall. It's like a big place and you gather people there.
Yeah.
So I was thinking it's the grand house out in the country that is empty now. I had an interpretation of this line that I think is probably totally wrong, and I think yours makes much more sense, but I want to say it anyway.
I want to laugh. Give it to me.
Okay, a lot of pressure now. The boys taking away goods and chattel. I was imagining, for some reason, that stood out to me as the taxmen came away and took so much of his profits that he's like, he had been this big act, and now he's been taxed to the point where he doesn't have anything left.
He lives in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't think further down verse-wise it supports that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do like that idea, and I think that would have been an interesting path to take for this song.
But you're right. It doesn't fit overall with the theme.
Yeah, he continues with this wealth motif.
So again, we have, I don't want to be me. I don't want to be me. I know it's hard to see. Yeah, but I don't want to be me. And that is interesting. I know it's hard to see. That's sort of a theme that we hear in celebrity culture often. Notting Hill. Do you remember that film with Julia Roberts?
I don't think I ever really saw it, to be honest. I know of it.
So she plays a big movie star, and she's dating the bookseller played by
Hugh Grant?
Hugh Grant, who was amazing in the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
He was very good.
Such good casting.
Yeah.
And she has this really great speech where they're at a dinner party and with his friends, his like low life, normal people friends. And they're playing a parlor game where each of them has to complain about something in their life. And they skip her. And she's like, wait a minute, why did you skip me? And they're like, well, surely, you're a famous movie star. Surely you don't have anything to complain about. And she kind of goes through everything. And she's like, well, I've been on a diet since I was 17 years old. I've been hungry every single day since that time because I'm not allowed to gain any weight. And this and this and this and this and this. And I can't go out without, she kind of goes through everything that's wrong in her life. And they're all like, damn, suffering really is a universal human experience.
Yeah.
But it's hard to see because she has all the trappings of success.
Right. Just one more instance of that. This character from the outside is significantly less relatable
Yes.
because they have all of this.
Yeah.
So therefore, people stop calling. They stop going to this person for contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get the dark turn of the song, the bridge. Pardon me, I'm on my way. Pardon me, but I'm going. Taking on the simple life, and I feel the grass roots growing.
Pardon me, I'm on my way. Pardon me, but I'm going. Taking on the simple life, and I feel the grass roots growing.
This is the attempt to start the farm, something along those lines to get down, to go back to your roots,
Yes.
to get down to earth,
Yeah.
to try to remove yourself from that. And I mean, granted, we only know so much, but it seems like Ian was rather successful at that in his earlier years before this, but
Certainly made some big attempts, moving out to Skye and engaging with that beautiful landscape.
yeah.
Salmon fishing,
Horses, all of that, yeah.
Big cat rescue, little cat rescue, small cat rescue.
Any size cat rescue.
If it's a cat, we'll figure out the size later.
We'll rescue it.
And this is also a theme that pervades so much of Ian's writing. This, I want to go back to the simple life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's entire albums are about that.
Right. Yeah.
The next verse continues on that theme. I'm going to ride the ragged road, diamond spurs jangling into the sunset, no circuits running overload, and maybe I'm not done yet.
I'm going to ride the ragged road, diamond spurs jangling into the sunset. No circuits running overload, maybe I'm not done yet.
It's quite a mix of metaphors,
Yeah.
but we kind of have a rich guy turned cowboy. There's a ruby-throated hummingbird out my window.
Eat it. They taste like jam.
Sort of a cowboy, like a rich cowboy disappearing into the wilderness
Yeah.
vibe.
But it's not quite, it doesn't feel like that, those deluded super rich people that are like, oh yes, we're going to go rough it and be cowboys.
Yeah.
He's committing to that, but he just so happens to be doing it with like this really expensive, really good gear kind of thing.
And he's acknowledging it.
Right. Yeah. He's aware of it. Yeah.
Yeah. No circuits running overload. I find that a really interesting addition because it plays very much into the ongoing Tull and Ian Anderson theme of technology versus nature, frustrations with modern living, etc. But it's the first mention of that kind of language that we've had in this song.
Yeah. it's taken us this long. He's building up to the point where he's so committed he's going to unplug.
Literally. And, we've been talking a little bit about so many of these tracks were recorded at Ian's home studio.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk more about the history of the studios and Ian's home studio probably on a later episode. But we've seen some images, and, the nice thing about going into someone else's studio is that if there's a technical malfunction, you don't really have to worry about it. Maybe it throws your schedule off. But if you have circuits overloading in a studio that you've put together, I wonder if that's a little bit of a God damn it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. James has told us that eventually it just got too burdensome to keep and run their own studios.
Right.
Commercially.
Right.
So he got rid of him and just had his own. Maybe there is something of that. It's that we can't keep up with technology. We can't keep up with schedule. So we are going back to the family and unplugging, and with making this drastic step of preventing or stopping the circuits from overloading, maybe I have a chance to survive. Maybe I'm not done yet.
Ooh, right. And maybe I'm not done yet. So maybe, this is right before Catfish Rising, right?
Yes, this is the year before Catfish.
So getting into that theme of, but I'm turning again. Yes, and I'm turning again. And I'm turning again wearing gold tip boots, black jacket and tie.
But I'm turning again. Yes, and I'm turning again. Well, I'm turning again. And I'm turning again. Wearing gold tip boots, black jacket and tie.
Maybe this is a little bit of a prefiguration of that character, that song saying,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm so done. I can't do this anymore. I need a big change of pace. Oh, I changed my scenery and maybe I could be me. Just a different version of me.
Yeah, right. Maybe that wasn't me.
Or just a new me is blooming out of the ashes of the old.
That's right. Phoenix. Yeah.
Phoenix walking. Now there's nothing left in the cupboard and 3 bears been eating my soup. Reference to Goldilocks and the 3 bears. A straight banger.
As far as fairy tales go.
As far as fairy tales go. My life is one big critical mess if you take a loop. Luke.
Now there's nothing left in the cupboard, and 3 bears been eating my soup. My life is one big critical mess if you take a look.
So that look is also what he did with before. He goes, look.
Yeah.
He stretches that one out. I don't know if it's the harsh consonants of critical mess, but it just feels like it does not belong there. It's so glaring a word choice.
Critical mess. Well, I wonder if it is a little bit of a reference to actual critics, to actual, critically, his life has been a mess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rather than it being a mess of critical...
A mess that is critical.
A mess that has reached a critical moment.
Yeah.
And the butler's off in Ibiza. He pronounces it the Spanish way.
Yeah.
And the butler's off in Ibiza.
Ibiza is, of course, a famous holiday spot, island, Spanish territory.
Yeah.
On expense account gone berserk.
On expense account gone berserk.
Not only is the butler on vacation, but the butler is using...
The company credit card.
Yeah, exactly.
Last time we heard expense account gruel was Cross-Eyed Mary, I believe. Expense account.
On expense account gruel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's such a specific phrase, expense account, so.
It is, yeah. But I can't check out of this crazy world without being a jerk.
But I can't check out of this crazy world without being a jerk.
Oh, that's quite interesting.
Again, jerk just does not feel so critical mess. The scansion of before and look and the word jerk here take me out of this song. They're very jarring to me.
Oh, how interesting. You have a hard consonant allergy.
I think it's just hearing Tull use these lyrics.
To me, it feels very 90s.
Okay.
I think the word jerk had a big surge in usage in the 90s.
Yeah. There must be at least one other song with the word jerk in it.
In the world?
From the 90s.
Oh, I think there are.
The 90s, yeah.
The line is interesting. Check Out of This World, of course, has overtones of The Big Sleep,
Yep.
The Big Dirt Nap, The Suicide.
To kill oneself, from the Latin,
To death.
to death.
So I can't check out of this crazy world without being a jerk. But also it could be literally checking out like, oh, I'm going to detach myself.
Yeah. I don't want to do this anymore.
But I have so many responsibilities.
So many people are relying on him at that point.
Yes, yes. And, you know, we can easily imagine some fictional things of that. But it was really fascinating seeing the concert in London.
Yeah.
And really getting a sense of, oh, this is an entire community
Oh, yeah.
that is based on a single dude getting up and singing and playing the flute
Right.
every night.
Far more than like the CEO of a company, you know,
Yeah, very easily replaced and should be changed.
regularly, like a diaper, because they're full of shit.
Yes, except it's in their interest to get fired because then they get their golden parachute.
Oh, yeah. That is right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But so an interesting line that has some dark overtones. Mm-hmm. And then we just get repeats. I don't want to be me. I know it's hard to say. I don't want to be me. Pardon me. I'm on my way. Taking the simpler life. Grassroots growing. I'm going to ride the ragged road. You know, circuits running overload. And maybe I'm not done yet. No, maybe I'm not done yet. That's that switch at the end.
And it's the slightest bit of, I guess I wouldn't even call it a fade out, but it's just like there's a finality to that line, and it ends not abruptly per se, but it's just like, okay, and we're done.
I think it leaves the listener with a little bit of a glimmer of hope.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. There is that sense of, you know what? I think I can keep doing this.
Without which, this would be a big old downer of a song.
It would. It would certainly feel much more emo, you know, just like, wow, life is hard.
Right? It would be Only in Dreams. Isn't that Weezer?
That is Weezer, yeah. That is the last song after the Blue, off of the Blue album, actually. Oh my God.
I would play that on repeat and just cry
Yes.
in a teenager.
It is when you were in a teenager?
When I was a
Oh, okay.
No. When I wished that a teenager was in me. No, when I was a teenager, I would sit in my room, that little room, and just have the big sad.
That's a really powerful song, and it really does enhance the emotion of the sad.
And there is no happy ending. There is no lift of possibility of hope there.
No.
So thank you, Mr. Anderson, for giving us a little bit of a reason to keep on going at the end of this somewhat depressing song with amazing folk influences. I also think if this was a different type of music, the lyrics would be a lot more depressing, but because it has, I think that Celtic, Irish, Scottish folk music have that, no matter how depressing it is, there's still that sense of, but we're gonna keep going because we don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Isn't that fine thing?
Yeah, the lilt makes it hard to be sad or to give up, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if this sounded synthy like or under wraps, you know, it would have a very different feel to it, I think. You're right.
I've got the big sad, but nobody knows it. I'm gonna do a jig and maybe go to die.
But maybe I'm not done yet. No, maybe I'm not done yet.
Okay, Omen.
Oh.
Next week, we are jumping back in time. We're going back to another one that was recorded in 81.
9 years preceding I Don't Want to Be Me.
We are going to talk Lights Out, the track number 16 off of disc 2. Lights Out.
Yeah. Should be a fun one. And Nick, what do we have to look forward to after we get out of Nightcap here in the next couple of weeks?
Oh my goodness. After that is one that was a very, very foreign to me for a while, but it has really grown on me in the past couple of listens. We're going to talk Roots to Branches.
Roots to Branches.
Yeah, it is the successor. It is really like It's a really comfortable stepping stone between Catfish and .com, I think. I feel like we've got kind of a missing link here.
Lest we get too ahead of ourselves, until next week, I am jangling into the sunset, Omen Thomas Sade.
I have been declared the belle of the ball, but I said no. I'm just Nick McGill.
I'm the bell end of the ball. We are overloading your circuits as the Feckless Momes.
And this is Stuck to Your Garage Floor. Talk Tell to Me.
Oh, Lord Eartherington, I haven't seen you here in the club in ages. Where have you been?
Duke Thurston, I cannot tell you how much of a trial I've been going through these last few weeks.
Oh, my goodness, tell all, dear heart.
Well, to begin with, you know Juanita, who's been with the family for generations.
Yes, what would you do without Juanita? Yes.
She raised me and she raised my children. I don't remember their names. I'll have to get back to you on that. But she...
More of a mother to you than the lady of Filthshire ever was.
But she took a vacation.
A vacation?
A vacation. I was told that she had to have time off.
How did she ever even learn that word?
I tried to keep her away from all sorts of society, but someone let her know. Maybe when she brought the laundry out to be cleaned.
My goodness, dear boy, you must be suffering terribly. Is there dust forming on your knick-knack-knacks?
I burned them all down, and I'm starting from scratch. I thought that would be the easier way to go about it.
Wonderful idea. You know, my recent life has been no bowl of caviar. I, too, have been suffering greatly due to the lack of decent help.
Oh, Thurston, tell me, Thurston.
Well, you see, Duke Featherington, I have been terribly put out of sorts by the presence of a substance which I cannot even begin to pronounce. There has been an infestation of Cheeto dust in the lower levels of my manor.
Where could such a thing come from?
Well, you know, this is the danger in having children. Oh. My third, you know the one with all of the medical problems.
With the eye, yes.
Yes, the eye, yes, the eye, and the therapy that she demands to go to. It's relatively inexpensive, but I just hate hearing about it. She brought some of her non-blooded friends back from university, which I did not realize that Eton was allowing the common people in. And they brought a snack which I have learned is called Cheetos.
Were you allowed to hunt them?
I tried! Goodness me, I tried, but I was told that she would disown me.
Is that so bad? She is the last born.
Yes, but she wiled her way into owning a good share of my company.
You've always had a soft spot for that child, and I've told you, shut off the heart, keep the money. That's all. I've always said that.
She's a vindictive, meddling snake, and I couldn't be more proud.
She is just like her father.
That's right. No, I remember you were looking rather glum at the Violet Ball the other week.
I was.
The shine on your calfskin gloves was somewhat dimmed by the tearful presence of your face.
Yes, that's true. That was the day that I went and purchased a new Rolls Royce, and I wanted the white one.
Of course you wanted the white one.
But they didn't have it.
What, they didn't have the white Rolls Royce?
So I bought a silver, and then next week they had a white, so I bought that one then. But I really wanted the white for the ball.
Well, of course you did, because it was a black and white ball, and I noticed you showed up in a silver. I didn't want to mention anything, but everyone has been talking about
I'm so embarrassed.
The faux pas you committed.
So embarrassed. Now tell me.
Yes.
Tell me. I know.
Yes. Another brandy, Schnapperface. The Schnapperface is the new barman here at the club.
Is that the one with the club foot?
Yes.
Yes,
The cauliflower ear got fired. He made eye contact one too many times.
Going for the brandy, that reminds me that I do
Yes.
recall hearing that you were experiencing some health issues with the gout, and your doctor told you to
my
cut off
goodness.
the drinking.
Yeah, well,
you
know.
continue to
yes.
do so.
Well, the first thing I did was get a second doctor.
Yes.
You
You paid him for the correct opinion, I'm assuming.
Of course.
Right.
Yes, I'm not going to stop drinking.
Yes.
What, be sober in this economy?
Goodness. I don't have enough space for all of the money I'm making.
I have to spend it somewhere, and drink is very expensive. But, this new doctor, he's a little bit of a crackpot. You would love him. He's got all these newfangled ideas. He's the sort of man you'll complain about bowel movements, and he'll tell you to get a gold bar shaped like an egg and put it right up your pooper.
I have several of those, not out of gold, but maybe I can have one fashioned.
You've always been a platinum man yourself.
I do like that.
But this man, his name is Dr. Beef Wellington III. He's the third doctor in his family. It's the third. I was complaining of the gout, of course, and he told
Naturally.
me that a new cure is, it's rather unorthodox, but I must say it's cured the old flare-ups better than a punch bowl made of lead.
Do tell. Maybe I can catch the gout, nip it in the bud, as they say, and prevent it.
Yes, well, I'll give you his card. What he recommended was that I should do an audio therapy session with a Picard cast.
Oh, I've heard of those. I thought the plebs were immersed in those.
Well, they do seem to have started on the street, yes.
They do like the true crime, if I remember correctly.
Yes, unfortunately, they stayed away from white-collar crime.
Oh, yes.
But this codcast is called Talking Tull to Me, which, they're actually a proud member of the Feckless Momes Audio Network.
You don't say.
My gout has exploded! My foot! Bunderface, get me more brandy!